Hey y'all, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD. Today we are going to go ahead and look at Disney Vacation Club availability for the spring break timeframe in 2026. Now, spring break is kind of like a 6-week timeframe it seems. There's definitely a lot of variability between states and even different counties within states of when folks are taking spring break. That being said, I think many spring breaks do center kind of around that Easter timeframe, so that is where we will be putting our booking request. But as always, you will be able to see the full month before our booking request. So while we will be looking at April of 2026 for every single room type at every single Disney Vacation Club resort, I will show you both March and April. So hopefully your spring break is encompassed fully in there. Now, I am filming this on May 10th, 2025. So that spring break timeframe is within the home resort booking window. We'll really be taking a look at the 10 to 11 month availability. But for select rooms, we will scroll back in time. You'll get a chance to look at 7 months, and for some rooms, even maybe closer to right now in May. As always, just a quick disclaimer that this is looking at one slice in time. While I hope this gives you a general representation of what booking windows might look like for the spring break timeframe within that home resort priority time, nothing's a guarantee. Trends over time may change, and even availability can change day to day, hour to hour as people adjust their plans. What I'm showing you is real, just doesn't mean that that's guaranteed to look like this time next year. And this video is 100% brought to you by a request in the comments down below. So if there is a specific time frame or resort that you want me to hone in on, let me know in a comment. I can't guarantee that I'll do it. A lot of this just has to do with like my life and when I have time to film videos like this, but your ideas definitely inspired the channel. If you find this helpful, informative, or entertaining, please do remember to hit that thumbs up button to like the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel. You can then ring the bell icon to receive a notification whenever I upload new videos. There's lots of Disney Vacation Club content on the channel. I'll leave some links of interest in the description below, and we've done availabilities like this in the past. So if you're looking for different times of year, check out the back catalog. Again, I'll leave links in the description below. Let's look into availability. We'll start with Vero Beach. And as a reminder, again, I am filming on May 10th, so 11 months from today exactly is April 10th, 7 months would be December 10th. Easter in 2026 is on April 5th. As we move through the video, my booking request is going to be for that time after Easter, so we're kind of pretending maybe you want to do Easter brunch at home, and then the next day get on a flight, head to Disney World that Monday, and stay through Saturday. Before we look at Vero Beach availability, I did just want to show you the points chart real quick. Spring break, again, a very popular time, so you will notice that we consistently are going to be in the most expensive travel season. And here is our booking request. Again, we are looking at an April 6th through April 11th timeline. For Vero Beach, it looks like we are smooth sailing. I think every single room is fully available. Again, this is within 11-month home resort owner priority. So here you go, all of March and April in the deluxe in standard view room is available. Yep, everything is available for the deluxe studio. Here's the ocean view deluxe in room, again, 100% available. The 1-bedroom villa is 100% available. This is the 2-bedroom lock-off villa, totally available. And here is the 3-bedroom beach cottage. This one does now have a few dates taken, so I believe this is probably President's Day is my guess, this February weekend. And then here in March, you've got the 15th and the 17th. That might be spring break for some folks. And then kind of near where we're looking at booking, literally Easter is taken. And again, kind of my assumption for this video is the week that leads into Easter, so March 29th through April 4th, and then the week coming out of Easter, so Easter Day, April 5th through, that weekend, are maybe going to be peak spring break. At Vero Beach, the most in-demand room we see in these videos, generally speaking, is this 3-bedroom beach cottage, so that is really the only one it seems like you would need home resort priority for. Though I'm sure as time goes on and we get closer to the 7-month booking window, all of these rooms will become more popular. Next, let's go ahead and look at Hilton Head. Interestingly, here, spring break is actually not in the very most expensive season. Their most expensive travel season is peak summer, but spring break, April 1st at least starting, is included in the 3rd most expensive travel season out of 4. Now, if you're going to go in that late March timeframe, if your spring break's a little bit earlier, you will sneak into then this travel season number 2 out of 4, so not too bad. Though if you will be heading down to Hilton Head during March, it does look like they are expecting to do exterior maintenance through March of 2026, so do keep that in mind. But again, like Vero Beach, you can see that every room type here is available. This is the deluxe studio availability, no worries here. Here we've got the 1-bedroom, again, 100% available. This is the dedicated 2-bedroom, 100% available, and the 3-bedroom grand villa. So this is taken a little bit here at that end of March timeframe, like we were kind of expecting, right? This is probably spring break for a lot of people. But if you wanted one of the smaller rooms overall, it looks like that's not going to be too challenging if you have a home resort contract. Let's then move over to the Disneyland Resort, and we'll start with Villas at Disneyland Hotel. So here you can see in their most expensive travel season is March 29th through April 5th. And I've put a note on screen here that I think that kind of means this is the implied peak spring break, that Disney is expecting the most spring break guests will come during that week. If you're going to go the week after, like when we requested starting April 6th, That is in the second most expensive travel season. So still very popular. It's going to be very crowded, very busy, but maybe just like a slight relief compared to what Disney thinks peak spring break will be. And taking a look at that Villas at Disneyland hotel availability, overall looking not bad. There's some rooms already taken, but quite a lot available still, including the Standard View Duo Studio, which I think is the cheapest room you can get here. So there are some nights taken in February, but March and April look fine. This is the Preferred View Duo Studio, so a little bit more in demand for sure. You can see this like March 15th through 19th is already taken. What I am thinking is higher spring break is still available, but this seems to be more competitive, definitely. We have the Standard View Deluxe Studio. That's looking fine. February 1st is taken, but otherwise okay. Here's the Preferred View Deluxe Studio. Again, February 1st. I wonder if maybe there's Run Disney or something out there. Someone let me know what's going on. All right, the one bedroom Preferred is definitely more booked. So there's sometimes in March and a lot of weekends in February are gone. The part of the month that we requested is okay, as is the week before, but that, we're really getting close to right at 11 months there. Here is the 2-bed lock-off Preferred, so similar as to what we just saw. This is the dedicated 2-bed Preferred. This looks okay, March through April for now. A couple dates taken in February. Here's the Garden Duo Studio, so that one's taken for the whole time we asked for. I believe this is the Duo Studio that will have a balcony or patio. So it seems like maybe that is worth the extra points to folks, because yeah, that's 11 months pretty taken. And then again, that garden category here now for the Deluxe Studio, same deal, very taken in this early April timeframe. And the 3-bedroom Grand Villa Preferred View is 100% booked. Staying at Disneyland, but moving over to the villas at the Grand Californian, you can see here again, that kind of peak spring break time is encompassed in the most expensive travel season. And in this case, we do actually have March 27th all the way through April 11th, so our booking request would be fully encompassed in that time. But already fairly good signs for you home resort owners out there. I think everything is fully available. I am a little shocked, honestly. So here is the Deluxe Studio. All of March through when we can book in April is available. Again, 11 months exactly from today is the 10th. You could book out through the 16th of April still. A lot is gone in February, but otherwise looking pretty okay. This 1-bedroom villa, wow, yeah, looking great other than February 1st. 2-bedroom lock-off villa then should look pretty good too. Yep, March 1st onward, a-okay. The dedicated 2-bedroom villa, fully available February onward. And here's the 3-bedroom grand villa. Even this is available for when we asked for and the full week prior. A couple weekends taken in March, most of February's gone, but that's not bad at all. And just out of curiosity, my own selfishness, we'll go back to the Deluxe Studio and let's take a look at some other months. So 7-month priority starts December 10th. You can see before then is a barren desert. But if you have a home resort contract and you're more on top of it, this looks pretty feasible. And here's a quick look at the Aulani points charts. Again, that peak spring break time here is going to be noted as March 25th through April 11th, so fully encompassing our requested booking dates. And let's take a quick scroll to see, are there any rooms not available? Yeah, there are some, just 2. Honestly, that's not bad. Let's start down here actually. So this is the Standard View hotel room, available Easter and the day after, but not kind of the rest of our requested vacation or the weekend leading into Easter. A lot of March is gone already too. And then the 3-bedroom grand villa, 100% booked. That's really not surprising. All right, let's jump back up to the top and look at what is available. So we've got the Standard View Deluxe Studio, looking good for when we asked. April 4th, that Saturday before Easter, is already booked, and kind of this mid-March time frame is gone too. Here's the Island Gardens View Deluxe Studio. This one's fine. That's such a stark contrast actually between this Island Gardens view and the Standard View. And really, it's only a few more points a night for when we requested. That's surprising. So if you have the points to spare, maybe that's an easier room to go after. Here's that Poolside Gardens view. This is, again, even a couple more points than the Island Garden view, but looking very available. And the Ocean View. Again, another few more points. Definitely adds up when you're going from bottom basement category all the way up to the top. But if you have the points to spare, this is much easier to book with home resort priority, at least for spring break time frame. Here's the Standard View 1-bedroom villa, looking good. March onward, really mid-February onward. Again, I'm guessing this is President's Day weekend. Here's the Island Gardens View 1-bedroom villa. No worries there for all of February, March, and what we can book in April so far. The Poolside Gardens View 1-bedroom villa, same story, totally available. And we've got the Ocean View 1-bedroom villa, again, totally available. All right, moving on to 2 beds then. Here's the Lock-Off Standard View. So again, you've got April 4th is taken, chunks in March. This is the dedicated 2-bedroom Standard View. So that's looking okay. April 4th is still taken, March 28th is taken, so you've got some of these Saturday nights, but otherwise, particularly if your spring break's in March, not bad. The lock-off island garden 2-bedroom, looking good. The dedicated 2-bed with the island's gardens view, very available. Yeah, February 1st onward, everything you can book so far is okay. The lock-off poolside gardens view 2-bed, totally good. The dedicated 2-bed poolside gardens view, yep, no worries here, 100% available. We've got this lock-off 2-bed with the ocean view, looking also very available. The dedicated 2-bed with the ocean view, no worries there from February onward. Oh, and we do have a 3-bedroom grand villa. This is the ocean view one, so presumably the most expensive. It's totally available, actually, which really is in stark contrast to this other 3-bedroom grand villa, the standard view, that's fully taken. So the time we requested, the standard view is 140 points a night, the ocean view is 184 points a night, so that is quite the jump up. Let's go back in time for this one. And again, the 7-month window would be December 10th. So actually there's quite a lot of time you could book this glorious ocean view grand villa if you have the points. And I know Aulani is generally of interest to some of you, so I've just popped back up here to the standard view deluxe studio to look at non-home resort owner priority, and it's looking pretty bad. Again, this is, one of the cheapest rooms. Let's bump it up a couple categories. Actually, let's go to ocean view, because I feel like if you're going all the way to Hawaii, maybe you want to splurge a little bit. That's not as bad. It's definitely tough, and I think, as with all things DVC, either be very on top of it or have flexibility in your plans. All right, next up, we will move over to the Walt Disney World Resort. This is a representative point chart. I think this one specifically is Boulder Ridge, but basically, I believe all of the Walt Disney World Resorts will have these 7 travel seasons, travel periods, and we've got March 29th through April 5th is that peak spring break, or implied peak spring break, at least to me, in the most expensive travel season. Then what we've requested, beginning April 6th through the rest of April, is in that second most expensive travel season. And let's go ahead and start at Copper Creek. So the deluxe studio resort view is fully available for our requested dates, and March 18th onward looks fine, but before that is not as good. Then we have the deluxe studio with the shower, and pretty similar story, March 20th onward is okay, but yeah, if you've got an earlier spring break and earlier March, gonna have to cobble together some rooms possibly. Here's the 1-bedroom villa, standard view, 100% available. The 2-bed lock-off with a shower in the studio portion mimics what we've seen. The 2-bed lock-off that does have a tub in the studio portion, again, similar to what we saw for the studio itself. This is the dedicated 2-bedroom, so March onward is okay. Again, this weekend leading into what I assume is President's Day is taken in February. And then the cabin, yeah, usually pretty easy to book. Let's see what's not available. The 3-bedroom grand villa, from March 26th onward, already fully booked, even through all of Home Resort Owner Priority. So again, today is May 10th, so I could have logged on and started an 11-month booking for April 10th, 11 months from today. And as far out as you can push that, all the way through April 16th is booked. So again, 3-bedroom grand villas do tend to be relatively competitive. All right, let's move on then. We've got Boulder Ridge up next. Looks like everything is available for our requested dates. Yeah, no issues actually in the deluxe studio. That's cool. Let's go backwards in time in this one a little bit. So yeah, December 10th would be your 7-month booking window, and considerably less available then. Though, as we've seen recently, summer is a little bit easier than fall. Here's the 1-bedroom. Yeah, no worries here at all. Super available if you've got a home resort contract. Before then, a lot more available than the studio, but depending on when you want to go, you might have to be flexible. The 2-bed lock-off should mimic basically what we've already seen. No worries in home resort for the most part. And then here's your 2-bedroom dedicated. 100% available, looks like January 2nd onward. Next up, let's go ahead and look at the cabins at Fort Wilderness. So this is just a single room type. It's a 1-bedroom cabin. Totally available. Looks like December 12th onward, but remember again that 7 months as of when I'm filming this is December 10th. So this is all still in home resort priority. And before then, not as easy to book. Next, we'll take a look at Saratoga Springs. Typically, this is pretty available, and you can see, yeah, literally every room type is fully available, so we won't really belabor this. Here's your deluxe studio standard. Just gonna go backwards in time a little bit, so even, yeah, October and November here are fine. Here is the deluxe studio preferred. Similarly, October, November, pretty fine. Half of September looks good. Here's your 1-bed standard. Pretty easy to book. All of August is still available. Wow. Again, I'm filming on May 10th, so that's pretty soon. This is the 1-bedroom preferred. Wow. If you have the points for this, looks like you can go on pretty short notice. The 2-bed lock-off will look roughly like what we've already seen. That's standard. We should have, 2-bed lock-off preferred. Again, not going to re-go through that, but very available. Here's your dedicated 2-bedroom standard. Looks like 100% available December 9th onward. So you actually are in the 7-month window right now. Like I could book this starting December 9th for a week. And then the dedicated 2-bedroom preferred. Again, availability starts on December 8th. So even without the home resort contract, if you were very on top of that, you could book this. Here's the treehouse villa. I think that would be fun for spring break, but not booked up as of yet. Even Christmas is still available. Thanksgiving is gone though. Here's your 3-bedroom grand villa standard. Not too bad. And then the 3-bedroom grand villa preferred. Yeah, if you have home resort here, smooth sailing. All right, now we have the Kidani Village side of Animal Kingdom Villas. It looks like just the standard view 3-bedroom grand villa is taken, and that is 100% booked from January 10th onward. So there's this week right after New Year's that's available. And there's like weekends in December, there's days here and there. Oh, actually this first chunk of September is open. Again, August is pretty open. Lots of people not traveling down to Florida during that time. But yeah, a lot of home resort priority here is taken. All right, let's start back up at the top. We've got the Resort View Deluxe Studio fully available March 1st onward. And for those of you that can only start booking 7 months out, not stellar availability in the fall, honestly. August and July are pretty good. Here's the Savannah View Deluxe Studio, looking good, starting February 16th for home resort owners. And yeah, similar to the last room, not great in like September, October, but doable. This is the 1-bedroom resort view. And also in case anyone missed this confusion, they did change standard view to resort view, so I do use those terms interchangeably kind of on accident, but note that a resort view is standard view, so parking lot, nothing remarkable. Here's the 1-bed Savannah view. That's looking very good if you have home resort owner priority, and even without, honestly, those are some good stretches in November, October, September. The 2-bed lock-off resort view should be mimicking what we've already seen. Here is your dedicated 2-bed resort view. Very fine, yeah, February 16th onward. Really, if you have home resort, you mostly have your pick of the litter. If you do not have home resort, there's definitely stretches of time you could go, but you might have to be flexible. Here's that lock-off Savannah view. So again, mirroring what we have already seen. And then we'll do the dedicated 2-bed with the Savannah view. 100% available, looks like January 13th onward. Before the 11-month time frame, October and September aren't bad. Super available in August. And here's the Savannah View 3-bedroom grand villa, super available if you have home resort priority. Actually, a lot of January is taken, that's interesting. So people are planning, approximately 8 months out in advance? Snatch it up before the 7-month window comes. All right, and then this was the standard view grand villa that we already looked at. Let's skip ahead then to Jambo House, so the other portion of Animal Kingdom Villas. What is not available? The value accommodations and club concierge. Yeah, no one is surprised there. Okay, so most of the rooms you would think are available are. So here's the Deluxe Studio Resort View looking good in March and April. Here's the Savannah View Deluxe Studio, again, March and April, totally available. Most of February is good, lots in January. Less if you don't have home resort priority, but it's not nothing. This is your 1-bedroom resort view or standard view, totally available from January 12th onward. If you don't have home resort priority, you could have your pick of the litter starting September 28th through October 8th. That's a week and a half. Pretty good long vacation. There's also October 26th through November 1st if you want to be down there for Halloween. Here's the 1-bedroom with the Savannah view. Very good. Most of home resort priority. Christmas is still available. And yeah, there's some chunks of time if you don't have home resort, but definitely not everything. Here's your 2-bed lock-off with a resort view. And the 2-bed lock-off with the Savannah view. This is the 3-bed grand villa with a Savannah view. So this is 100% available for a vast majority of home resort owner priority. So again, it seems like you want to be on top of that maybe 8 months out. So that's interesting. And then, yeah, the rooms that are not fully available. But here we go. We've got a 1-bed value. And again, there just are some nights available here. Whereas, canonically, you think of these as always being snatched up immediately. Again, this is, into home resort owner priority. So don't get too excited if you don't own a contract here. But yeah, there are, you could have 2 nights back to back in October or September in this value 1-bed. 3 nights in July. That's not bad at all. Here is the club level 1-bed. So the week leading into Easter is fine, March really 22nd all the way through April 4th. But yeah, exactly 11 months today is booked even. Here's that value studio, extremely booked. Exactly 11 months from today is booked, 11 months plus 1 day is booked. The club level studio, I expect to see similar. Yep, it's pretty dang booked. And then the lock-offs will reflect what we've seen. So this is your 2-bed lock-off value, extremely booked, and your 2-bed lock-off club level, super dang booked. Next, we'll do Old Key West. Typically, these rooms are available, so I'm expecting to see very good availability here. What is not fully available? The 3-bed Grand Villa near the Hospitality House for our requested time. And yeah, this spring break time, kind of, March through mid-April, has been pretty cannibalized. But everything else is fully available. So here's a look at the deluxe studio. There's almost never worries about this room well into homeowner resort priority. And even before then, so again, 7 months starts on December 10th. It's not like you could stay here for weeks on end with no interruptions, but it's definitely a good room to fall back on if you're looking to go on shorter term notice, see what Old Key West or Saratoga Springs might have available. Here's the deluxe studio near the Hospitality House. This one does tend to get booked up faster, but still available for March 2nd onward should you have home resort owner priority. Here we have the 1-bedroom villa. Looking very good for all of home resort owner priority. And even for most of that time frame around the 5, 6, 7 month booking window. Here's the 1-bed near the Hospitality House. Again, any of the inventory that is near the Hospitality House instead of just the standard tends to be a little more in demand, a little more booked. If you don't have home resort priority, I wouldn't necessarily count on it, but again, there is some availability for sure. And we've got the 2-bed lock-off near the Hospitality House, so this will look like what we have already seen. Here's the dedicated 2-bedroom villa. Yeah, I think literally all of homeowner resort priority was available, and again, beginning December 10th, non-homeowners could book for this early December timeframe should they want. Very available room. And wow, I mean, if you go in September, which is the cheapest travel period, but if you go, like 27 points for a 2-bedroom villa is not bad. And the 2-bedroom near the Hospitality House, slightly more in demand, but still largely available. No real worries if you have home resort owner priority here. Then finally, we've got the standard 3-bedroom Grand Villa. This is not located near the Hospitality House. So yeah, March and April are fine. You do have that week around what I'm assuming is President's Day in February taken. But overall, not bad if you have home resort priority. And even if you don't, you could string together a few nights here and there. Or you can go in August and take a lot of nights together. Next up, let's take a look at the Riviera. So the Tower Studio Resort view is still available. Granted, we are looking deep into home resort priority, but that's not bad. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so March 26th is taken, and then March 15th through 17th, kind of depending on when spring break might be for you. A lot of February is gone. There's only 1 night left in January, 2 nights left in December, 2 single nights, by the way. They're not back to back. So yeah, that's a really competitive room, but if you are booking 11 months out, it seems feasible, at least for when we're looking. Again, April is a very expensive time to go, possibly the most expensive time, depending on your exact dates. You can see our requested booking dates, the points drops off a little bit, so like this is only 17 points, the Monday before is 24, but it is still, the second most expensive time to go, so possibly you see slightly lower crowds from people who have the flexibility to travel at other times of the year. Here's the Preferred View Deluxe Studio. Very available for home resort for the most part. And you can book it without home resort, but probably not a whole week straight or anything. This is the Resort View 1-bed or Standard View 1-bed. Looking very good if you have home resort owner priority. And yeah, honestly not bad at all if you don't have home resort. It is a more expensive room, I suppose, but if you have the points, again, if you just upsize from a studio to a 1-bed, at most resorts that will take some stress off of booking for sure. And yeah, the Preferred 1-bed, also looking really good. Of course, this costs more points than the Resort View or the Standard View 1-bed, so not too surprising to see this be more available for roughly the same accommodations. Here's your dedicated 2-bed Resort View. March 15th is taken, that's interesting, but the rest of March and April so far are available for that spring break time frame, whenever your spring break may be. We have the lock-off 2-bed preferred, so this should look like kind of what we've already viewed. And this is the dedicated 2-bed preferred. February 1st onward is looking good. Really, it's January 2nd onward. And then if you ignore kind of that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, it's December 12th onward for the most part. So home resort, largely, is looking fine. And yeah, actually quite a lot of not home resort too. Here's the 3-bedroom grand villa. This is very available. I'm a little shocked, honestly, but that's cool. So this seems like if you have a home resort contract, maybe a slightly easier 3-bedroom grand villa to call dibs on. All right, here's the deluxe studio resort view or standard. So available for part of our requested time, but not the 6th. The weekend of Easter is available, but not the Thursday before. Yeah, March 15th through 18th is taken. So again, I think depending on when your spring break is, you might want to be pretty on top of that. And then the 2-bed lock-off should look similar because of the resort view studio portion of this room. Let's move over to the Polynesian, and for all these rooms, if you see a tower prefix like you do here, then it's in Island Tower. If you do not, like this one, this is going to be in a standard longhouse, so just keep note of those differences if it matters to you. So here's the duo studio that sleeps 2 people in Island Tower resort view or standard view. Very available March 1st onward, no worries really if you're on top of that with home resort priority. If you do not have home resort priority, good luck. Generally speaking, the cheapest rooms are popular, and also Island Tower feels very popular right now. Like, it feels like a lot of people just want to go check it out. So here's that same duo studio, but with a preferred view, again in Island Tower. Okay for when we asked for, but there definitely are some times in March that are taken. So this room is considerably more in demand, I would say. Here's the deluxe studio resort view. So this is going to be in a longhouse, not in Island Tower. And qualitatively, it does feel like demand for those is lower, at least for home resort owners. And yeah, even for those of us who don't have a Polynesian home resort, it's still a popular room. You're still at the Polynesian, but it's not quite as competitive as Island Tower, I would say. Here's the deluxe studio in Island Tower with the resort or standard view. March and April are looking good. Most of February is looking good, but yeah, here we go. The Island Tower popularity effect is high. This is a preferred view deluxe studio, so in a longhouse, so you'll basically be getting a lake view for the most part. Very easy to snag with home resort priority. And there's still some days without, but not too many. Here's the premium view duo studio in Island Tower. Looking good for home resort owner priority. I wonder if folks don't want to pay the upcharge for that. If you have a home resort contract at the Polynesian, I would love to hear your thoughts on kind of the view categories, what matters to you, what you're willing to pay for. Here's the deluxe studio in Island Tower with a theme park view. Looking pretty good. This Saturday in February is taken. Sometimes in January. Yeah, December is pretty picked over, but not bad for home resort owners. Very bad for anybody else. That's definitely a waitlist room. Waitlist and cross your fingers. Here's a resort view or standard view 1-bedroom villa in Island Tower. Pretty okay for home resort owners. I mean, I wouldn't slack off until like 7 months for sure. But, you know, 8.5, 9 months out looked fine. Here's the 1-bedroom villa in Island Tower with the theme park view. This one looks great. So if you've got the points you want to blow, pretty easy to book, I would say 8 or 8.5 months out. We've got a 2-bed lock off in Island Tower. Specifically, that was the resort or standard view. Here's your 2-bed lock off theme park view. Again in Island Tower. Okay, now we've got the penthouses. So this is your preferred view Island Tower penthouse, which will not be the one facing Cinderella Castle. Very available. It is taken March 4th through 7th and sometime in February, but if you have home resort priority, that's not bad. Although January is pretty bad, so don't delay, I would say. Try to solidify your plans when you can. And remember, you can always like move your DVC reservations around. Be wary of like the modification and cancellation policy. So if you're within a month, basically, it gets tricky. But if you want to book something out 11 months to hold it because you think you're going to go, if you end up needing to push the days around, I would rather book the room and hold it. All right, now here's your penthouse villa with the theme park view. So yeah, this one's a little more in demand. I think if you're going to spend those kinds of points, may as well get the theme park view, right? And then we've got the overwater bungalows. These typically are very available. That is still true, it seems. All of August is available, and yeah, it's May right now. I could go next week. And what is not available? Okay, so we have the dedicated 2-bedroom villa with a theme park view in Island Tower, booked April 6th through 8th. So part of our booking time frame. The week before that, though, the week leading into Easter is fine. Here's the deluxe studio preferred view in the tower. So yeah, the 6th through 9th is taken. The week leading into that, though, is fine. And then we have the preferred view 1-bedroom villa in the tower. Again, the 6th through 9th is taken. The week before is fine. Technically, you could book the week after because this day, April 10th, is the 11-month booking window, so you could book after that. And then the 2-bed lock-off preferred in the tower. Yep, same deal. 6th through 9th is taken. Next, let's look at Bay Lake Tower. And so I guess in this case, it is worth noting that through early May of 2026, the Bay Cove Pool, Cove Bar, Water Play Area, Whirlpool Spa at Bay Lake Tower will be temporarily closed. So that does encompass our dates, if that is something that matters to you. But we'll start with the cheapest room. This is the Resort or Standard View Deluxe Studio. Available for when we ask, but I mean, there is already April 2nd taken, parts of March. That's a popular room. Here's the Preferred View Deluxe Studio. This used to be called Lakeview at Bay Lake Tower. This one's super available. Really no worries there if you have home resort. And if you don't have home resort, it kind of depends on when you want to travel, but I would say if you waitlist this room right at 7 months, it feels like chances are decent it'll come through. Here's the Theme Park View Room Deluxe Studio. Again, this is pretty dang available. January, maybe about half the month is available. Considerably less if you don't have home resort. Here is the Standard or Resort View 1-bedroom villa. Looking pretty good. There's some random days in March that are taken though. I'm guessing that might be spring break for some folks. And this is now the Preferred View 1-bedroom villa. That is 100% available. Looks like January 11th onward. Smooth sailing, and a lot of October is still available. Almost all of August and July for anyone looking for a vacation this summer. Here's the Theme Park View 1-bedroom villa. Yeah, that's looking pretty dang good. No worries for spring break time, at least. All right, we've got a 2-bed lock-off resort view. We can kind of anticipate what these lock-offs should look like. Here's the 2-bed lock-off preferred view. No worries. Okay, here we have a dedicated 2-bed preferred view. This is 100% available January 11th onward for home resort owners. And yeah, you can definitely string together a decent vacation in late summer and fall. This is the lock-off theme park view room. Pretty good if you've got home resort. Here's the dedicated 2-bed with a theme park view. Again, quite good if you have home resort priority. And December 10th is 7 months from today, so you could take the 10th through 12th if you didn't have home resort owner priority. Decent stretches in August and September, a couple nights here in October. It's not bad. Here's the preferred view 3-bedroom Grand Villa. Totally available March and April. 1 night is gone in February. A handful of nights are gone in January. But otherwise not bad. This is the Theme Park View 3-bedroom Grand Villa. February 15th is taken. But otherwise from January 6th onward for home resort owners, you are smooth sailing. And what rooms at Bay Lake Tower are not available? It's just the 2-bed resort view. So this is a dedicated 2-bedroom villa taken on April 6th specifically. But also looking back into March, a lot of March is taken. I'd say that's probably about half of March. So it does seem like you'd want to be more on top of that. For a 2-bed villa, this is a resort view, which is the cheapest category. So my guess is this is probably the cheapest room that a lot of larger families can fit in. Next, we've got the Grand Floridian. So it looks like very good availability here. It looks like everything is fully available. Again, we are in home resort owner priority. This is the Deluxe Studio Resort View. So April 3rd is taken, a couple random days in March. So that's something to be aware of. Let's just take a peek back. Yeah, it's considerably less good if you don't have a home resort contract. Here is the Resort Studio Resort View. So this is going to be the converted hotel room style instead of the Deluxe Studio, kind of standard studio style you might be used to. Pretty good here. I would say qualitatively, it often feels like the Deluxe Studio is a little more in demand than the Resort Studio, but I have no data to prove that. Here's the Deluxe Studio Preferred View. Totally fine for March and April in terms of thinking about spring break. This is the Resort Studio Preferred View. 100% available, looks like January 11th onwards. Actually, good availability in October, too, for anyone looking to travel in the fall. This is the Theme Park View Resort Studio, so there is no Theme Park View Deluxe Studio. If you do want that Theme Park View in a smaller room, here is your only shot. Looks pretty dang good for home resort owners. Alright, and we have a 1-bed villa with a resort or standard view. 100% available January 29th onward. So no issues for spring break. This is the Preferred View 1-bedroom villa. Again, really 100% available for the time we're looking at in January 11th onward. We've got a 2-bed lock-off resort view, mirroring what we've seen for resort view smaller room sizes. This is the dedicated 2-bed resort view. 100% available, looks like January 19th onward. The lock-off 2-bed with a preferred view. Again, we're really not running into any issues for spring break at the Grand Floridian. Here's the dedicated 2-bed preferred view. Super available if you've got a home resort contract and are maybe 8+ months on top of your planning. Once you're flirting with 7 months, it always starts to get a little more dicey. And the 3-bed Grand Villa preferred view. So this is taken in part of March. So again, I suspect some people do have spring break in that like mid-March time frame. But otherwise, that's not bad at all. And there's even, a few strings of nights together for us non-home resort owners. Next, let's take a look at BoardWalk. This is a very popular resort. So yeah, even at 11 months, there tends to be some stuff that's taken. Let's start with things that are available. So this is a garden or pool view deluxe studio. For home resort owners, good basically February 28th onward. Just to demonstrate what I'm saying, like look at how barren some of these other times are, even when in other rooms we've seen August is like 100% available. Here's the resort view 1-bedroom villa. Again, like February 16th onward for you home resort owners is looking good. No worries for spring break. Less available for those of us without home resort priority. Here's the BoardWalk View 1-bedroom villa. Looking good March and April. February is more picked over, as is January to an extent. This is the garden or pool view 1-bedroom. 100% available. It looks like December 12th onward. So almost all of home resort owner priority is available for you. And actually, there's quite a lot for those of us who don't have a home contract here. We've got the lock-off 2-bed garden or pool view, so this should look pretty familiar. Here's your 3-bedroom Grand Villa with BoardWalk view. So this is available right when we requested, but April 3rd and 4th are already taken, as is March 8th through 11th. Now we're getting into partial availability. So this is the Deluxe Studio Resort View. This is the cheapest room of the BoardWalk, and it's incredibly economical for its location. Literally 11 months from today is booked, as is the weekend that follows that. So if you were on right at 8 a.m. this morning when availability was released, it's possible that this was available. March 27th through April 9th is still available if your spring break is in that time, but also, look at March. A lot of that is already gone. Here's the BoardWalk View Deluxe Studio. So again, exactly 11 months from today is taken, and a lot of March is already taken. And then, of course, we have the 2-bed lock-offs that kind of rely on studio availability. So this is the Resort View lock-off availability, and we've got the BoardWalk View 2-bed lock-off availability. All right, and finally, let's wrap it up with Beach Club. It looks like everything is fully available. That is fantastic. Okay, so here we have the Deluxe Studio. There's just one view category at Beach Club, so they're all resort or standard view. It looks like from March 18th onward, you're good. March 17th is taken, and then these early March timeframes are also taken. And I know people love the Beach Club, so let's go ahead and scroll backwards in time. Again, 7 months from today is December 10th. So it looks like October 22nd through December 10th is taken. 2 random single nights in October. Literally nothing in July, August, 2 random nights in June. So this is a room where you really do want to have home resort priority, or make a backup plan and then go on the wait list and hope that it comes through. You could also consider buying a confirmed reservation that's being sold at the Beach Club, but remember it's confirmed, so you can't change the dates or like anything about the room. All right, here's the 1-bedroom villa. This is dramatically different looking than the Deluxe Studio. So again, if you have the points to use, tends to be a lot easier to book. But even without home resort priority, it's pretty rough out there. Honestly, June's not bad. That's okay. You could say the 11th through the 18th. That could be fun. All right, then we have the lock-off. So this is predicated by availability of the 1-bedrooms and the studio, so it's not really going to look terribly different. But here is the 2-bedroom dedicated. Again, everything is a Resort View Beach Club. Looking really good, honestly. February 16th onward. No problems for those of you with home resort priority. Most of January is available. But then, yeah, once you get into not homeowner time, very, very slim pickings. So that was a look at Disney Vacation Club availability, really centered around that kind of spring break time frame, 11 months out. So we were looking at homeowner resort priority. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to help you out. But if you are going to ask about availability of XYZ ABC thing, the more specific you can be, the better it is for me to try to help you. If you just ask, like, how popular is Riviera? Well, that depends. Are you trying to get a tower studio that sleeps 2 people? Because then incredibly popular. Are you okay, though, with booking a preferred 1-bedroom? You're going to have an easier time. So I am truly happy to help you as best as I can, but the more information you can give me, the better my answer will be. And like I said, definitely leave a comment down below if you have any requests, especially for timeframes. I will do my best to honor those. And I probably am going to change up the format of these videos so it's not just one huge long video every now and again. So let me know if you'd rather me focus on like just looking at studios or just a couple resorts, or how would you split these up? What would your brain prefer? Thank you again for all of your support. Free actions such as liking the video and subscribing to the channel really do help me out in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm, so I do appreciate it. And extra gratitude to all my monthly supporters in my Ko-fi. If you are interested in supporting me outside of YouTube, I will leave information in the description below. Can't believe we're already talking about Spring Break 2026, but that is how Disney Vacation Club goes. Honestly, it's pretty fun for us Type A planners, or at least I think it is. I hope the rest of your day is magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.